Hello and welcome back. Today we're doing things a little bit different. So before we get into design work, we're starting here on the Design and Technology Association's Inspired by Industry website. Now it's really important because this is about changing how we approach design and technology. Inspired by Industry is all about bringing real world design into the classroom. So instead of working on isolated tasks or just making something, students are working from a context, just like a designer or engineer would in industry. It means they're responding to a design brief, not just following instructions. They're thinking about real users and real needs. They're developing ideas that can solve an actual problem. It's much closer to how products are designed in industry. You'll notice that each context gives a starting point, but it doesn't tell you exactly what to make. So it's the students' jobs as designers to interpret the brief, explore different possibilities, and justify the decisions they make along the way. So, before we even start thinking about CAD or modelling in Onshape, we need to understand the context properly, because the quality of your design will always come from how well you understand the problem in the first place. And today we're going to be focusing on accessible controllers from Scalextric. And as we click onto it, you can see all the different things there. Now we've done this in school. It's proved hugely successful. The kids absolutely love this project. So we're going to take you through how we create one of the controllers from the student sketch. Okay, so now we're back in Onshape, and remember the left clicks are red and the right clicks are in blue. So we're going to do something different. We're actually going to use a sketch that's been drawn by hand. And we're going to use this to help create the basic shape of our controller. We might simplify some of that design as we go, just to get pupils started with this. But it's an idea that we can make their designs that they've drawn on paper into a real product using CAD. And it's a nice little feature that comes in quite handy. So to do that, we're going to click on Sketch. Pardon me. To do that, we're going to click on Sketch. And I'm actually going to rename the sketch. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to call this my controller drawing. Just so I know. And it's asking me to sketch. So I'm going to click on front. Press the N key. Then click on front. Click on front. There we go. Now from the top here, we've got a button that says DFX. But next to it there's an arrow, and the arrows are our friends. We can click on that and go to Insert Image. Now I've already inserted my image, but to do that I just went to Import and clicked on the image and it loads up. So I'm going to double click on that and then draw out my image, and I can, time it's blue, I can still move it around. Blue means it's not locked into place. I am going to dimension the height here. I'm going to set that to 140, and then I'm going to press Escape and delete that dimension, draw around the whole thing and press Fix. So it's locked in place. So now if I try and move it, it's not going to move. So that Fix button is just there. It stops things moving. It helps to define your sketches. It's a bit of a cheat code. So we've got this sketch, and what I'm going to do is do another sketch on top of that. So sketch, front again, and I'm going to draw around the outline of this. We're going to add the buttons and this wheel bit here because they're going to be done as separate parts in the next video. Today's video is just going to focus on drawing the main shape and then shelling the parts. We're going to make one half of the controller and then mirror the other. So there's a couple of things I need to do to make my life easier. So the first thing is I'm going to use a straight line. Now I'm going to put a straight line between there and there for my trigger, and I can actually dimension that. I'm going to dimension that 16, and I'm then going to do another straight line at the front here. Now don't worry that it's gone off the mark. When we come to do this, we can fillet these parts in and round them off, but I need these as a couple of reference points. I can get rid of that dimension. No, I haven't dimensioned it because I'm going to use the Fix tool again here. But we're then going to use the Spline tool. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to look where there are key points for my shape. And you get a little bit of a movement there. But if you want to end it, you press escape and it ends that line. And I've got to do a bit around here. So I'm going to try this with the spline. I like to zoom in and out with the scroll wheel. It does look a little bit confusing at times. But I'm going to come around here with my scroll wheel all the way to the bottom there and click. And then I'm going to go to the arc tool. I'm going to use the arc to create these finger points. So I'm going to click 1, 2, and then as I move my mouse, I can actually determine the radius of it. So I'm going to bring it in a little bit more. 1, 2. I'm just going to try and make these a little bit more identifiable than what they are on the original drawing. Now I've just noticed I've missed a little bit there. So what I'm going to do is just press undo and make sure when I do my connection it actually links up. And then click the two parts there. Now just like I did before, to fix it I'm going to highlight the whole thing and press fix, so my sketch is confined. So the sketch is drawn. The next thing to do is extrude it. Now normally these would probably be 25mm thick or an inch thick in old money. We're going to extrude half of that because we're going to make one side and then do the other. So I'm going to press extrude, click sketch 1, and my distance is going to be 12.5. And I'm going to press the tick. So now you can still see our sketch below that we've drawn out, but you can see our model on there. The next thing we want to do is give this a bit of shape and style. So we're going to use the fillet tool to do that. And I need to make a couple of changes. Possibly this area might need to be changed just because of how the round is on there. So we're going to go to fillet. I'm going to click on this top surface there. I'm going to change that one to 5. Now, I will warn you, the fillets can go wrong if you get the numbers wrong. So I will show you how you can change them as well if you do end up with an issue. I'm going to then do 2 and use the 2 on these pointy parts there just to soften them off. So hopefully that softens them off. And we'll use one of 15 on this top corner. So that's going to round off. Now I don't think it's going to work. We'll try it. So if I press fillet and click on that top surface, 15 is too much. Will it do a 10? It won't. So as I thought, this area here is causing a bit of an issue for me. So I'm going to press cancel. I'm going to look at this issue here. So I'm going to press fillet. We'll try 10. So I'm going to click that edge. It does mean I'm changing my design a bit more. I have still got a flat plate there, which is helpful. I'm going to need that flat part for this later, but I have lost a bit of the design there. But I'm going to have to make that compromise to do the next bit, which is to press fillet and click this top surface. And you can see at 10 it's now rounded. So you can always go back and change things and change the diameter. So if I tried 9, it might still work. So sometimes you will get errors and things, and it's important just to look at what comes up, go back, change it. Normally with a round it's because the number's too much, but you can always go back and change it. Right, we need to add a few details to this before we shell it and mirror it. So I'm going to add the button or the inlay at the top here. So we're going to press sketch, click on the front parts there. So it's the actual part this time, face of extrude one it says. Press the N key, and I'm going to use the line tool to do this. So again, I've got to make a little compromise. So I'm going to go from there to there. And there to there. I've just moved it down a little bit because I've got that line at the top there. If I wanted to, I could trim and think actually I will make this line a little bit higher. And go to there. Now, if you notice and you think, are them lines perfectly lined up, we can use the dimension tool. So I click one, click the other, and you'll see I've got 179, so it's nearly 180, but if I change it to 180, it will be okay. So I'll just click back into sketch there. So there's my sketch. Again, I can draw around that and press fix, and then delete the 180. So I just click on it and press delete on the keyboard. So we're happy with that. I'm then going to press extrude, sketch 2, remove 1mm. So we'll make it go in, and this could be for a logo, a name. We use the fillet tool again, fillet 1mm. I'm going to click on the base, so that base will round all the edges on the base. That it does now mean that to round the internal corners here, I have to do them separately. So we're going to try 2. It doesn't like 2, so we'll stick with 1. And I will also round the top edges, so I'll click 1, and because it's linked together, you've only got to link them 2 edges there. So we've got that rounded part there, so you can see that nice clear inlay. That's looking great. So now what I'm going to do is add some grip to this part of the controller. So I'm going to click sketch and onto this surface and press the N key. So I could use the offset, but I don't think that's quite going to work as much as I want it to. We'll give it a little go. So if I press offset and I click on this line, oops, again, offset and that line, I just want the line. It comes up with 5, so I press enter. I'm going to put in -2, hopefully. Oh. Don't think it's going to do it on the offset tool, is it? No. Okay, so we're going to create some grip into this area. And to do that, we're going to press sketch, click on the surface and press N. Now, the offset tool unfortunately won't work on this. It's going to want to put it on the outside for some reason. So I can use the use tool. So I'm going to click and project that line. Now, I could click and project everything, but I don't want all of it. I'm just going to use that line there and this bottom one. And then use my spline tool to come up and work out roughly where I want to go up to. So to about there. Okay, and then I'm going to connect that line from that point across the other one. So again, I've got to make a slight change here. It should come down to there. I'm going to bring it to there. And then delete that part. So you can now see we've got that part there. This is where we're going to put our grip in it. Same as before. Click over the whole thing. Fix. So that comes into play. Now you'll need to watch one of my videos about custom features, because I'm going to use Grid Extrude now. Grid Extrude is a brilliant tool. We click on it, I'm going to click on that shape, and it's going to put a hexagonal grid, or a triangular grid in this case, into that shape. Now at the moment it's got cell width of 25, so if I bring it down to 5, I'll do my cell gap at 1, you can start to see what it's going to create there. Now if I invert the grid, sorry, not the grip, it's now giving me lots of little triangles, and if I do the depth of 1, I'm getting a triangular pattern there, and I can change these. If I go down to 3, I get more of them. I'm going to press add. It's going to ask me to merge with all. And now I've got a grip on there. Now if you look at it, it's sticking out. Is that going to be comfortable? Probably not. So I can go back into Grid Extrude. You can go remove. Hello. So it's do the triangles, turn off invert grid, and this time the triangle pattern now goes down into the design there. Now another thing we can do on Grid Extrude, if we just go back into it, we can add a boundary. And you can do your boundary thickness, so I'm going to bring that down to 0.5 and 0.5. So we've now got the boundary there. The last thing we're going to do on this tutorial is just mirror and shell. So we're going to start with shell. So we go up to the top there, click on shell, click on this top surface, 2.5. I don't think I'm going to get any more than that. I think 3 might be pushing it, so we're going to go 2.5. I'm going to turn off the drawing so you can see what we've got there, what we've created. So we've got our grid, we've got the parts on there, and I'm then going to do part 1 mirror. So part 1 mirror plane is going to be the front, and that will now create the 2 halves. Now at the moment you'll see part 1, we've only got 1 part. If I wanted to, I can go back into mirror and press new, and we've now got part 2. Now what I like about this is if I go back to the roll back, so the rollback bar here, we can pull that up. I can go back to this part, and if I put a very small fillet on this edge, so 1mm, and then move it forward, I've now got a split line if you want to put one in there. And I'll start looking at doing the buttons and the trigger in the next video. A little bit more complicated, a little bit more in depth. Hopefully that's been useful. Thanks again for watching.